makes his way through the Reunion Arena crowd to the ring in the center of Star Wars 1981. But that man is a legend with a purpose, as his purpose tonight will be a man called Kabuki. Fritz von Erich makes his way to the ring, and of course this is a young man in many, many ways. He is a veteran in many, many ways, but tonight he is a man out to get revenge. Fritz von Erich has put off getting into the ring with Kabuki because he never really felt he needed to, but tonight's the night for Fritz von Erich as he scans the huge crowd here at the Reunion Arena. He can't believe it, as look at the kids just flocking to the ring to get a chance for an autograph from Fritz von Erich. But tonight, even though he is, I'm sure, very thrilled with this crowd, in a moment the man will make his way to the ring. The man led by his manager, Gary Hart, the man they call Kabuki. There are many, many stories about Kabuki, and we will, of course, I am sure, be talking about them as the moments here go on. But it is Fritz von Erich and Kabuki, a matchup that many, many people have been waiting for a long, long time. And the only reason that Fritz von Erich has finally gone into the ring with Kabuki is because of an incident that happened in Fort Worth, Texas. During a television interview, I'm sure that you have probably heard about it or even saw the interview in which David von Erich was attacked from behind by Kabuki. At that point, he was attacked, viciously assaulted. He lost a couple of teeth. Gary Hart egging on Kabuki. Fritz von Erich got involved at that point. And the culmination of his involvement comes tonight in front of thousands and thousands of fans here at Reunion Arena in Star Wars 1981. And there will probably be no battle in the Star Wars any bigger than this one tonight, as Fritz von Erich takes on the masked man, at least masked for this moment, Kabuki. Gary Hart watching warily his man Kabuki. Gary Hart has known Kabuki, or at least has been associated with Kabuki. I don't know that anyone knows him for a long, long time, since some time in Asia, in Singapore, when Kabuki became, let us just say, he became known as Gary Hart's hitman. Anytime Gary Hart had any problems in or out of professional wrestling, the man he called upon was Kabuki. And now, somehow, after years of trying and probably spending thousands and thousands of dollars, maybe above and, under the table, Gary Hart has finally managed to get this man Kabuki into the United States. It happened just a few months ago, and no one has made a splash or an impression in such a short time as has Kabuki. And so, as Fritz von Erich finally gets his chance at Kabuki, he does it in the way that Fritz von Erich likes best. No time limit, no disqualification, a Texas death match. Fritz von Erich and Kabuki, and you see the crowd reacting to Kabuki. Let us hear their reaction. Rather, that was the reaction, of course, to von Erich. The reaction to Kabuki was not so kind. Kabuki goes through many, many rituals. He is a master of the martial arts, as so many of Gary Hart's men are. He wears that ceremonial mask, and then there you see him spray whatever he does, that green, I don't even know what you call it, but a green spray. He sprays up into the air. You see Gary Hart now going over. Gary Hart is the only person that Kabuki will listen to, and he seldom will listen to him. Fritz von Erich would like to get this thing underway. Kabuki wears the Oriental makeup, the white face. He decorates it differently every night you see him. He has the samurai sword, which fortunately he has never used, at least to our knowledge, in the ring. See the seconds kind of getting out of the way. Gary Hart standing over in the corner now. Gary Hart very nattily dressed this evening. If you didn't know more about Gary Hart, you would swear that he was probably maybe an attorney or a banker. You would never guess that anyone could be exactly what Gary Hart is. And good taste prevents me from expounding more of what Gary Hart is. But what he is tonight is a spectator among thousands here at Reunion Arena. as Kabuki takes off his ceremonial robes. He wears the traditional Oriental black pajamas. He is a master with his feet, his hands, and just about anything else that he can get hold of. Fritz von Erich, of course, the master of the Iron Claw. Fritz von Erich has seen many, many people come and go. And he would like to see Kabuki go tonight, I'm sure. He has revenge in his mind, Fritz von Erich. He would like to get revenge for what Kabuki did to his son, David. He would like, I'm sure, to get revenge for what he has done to just about anyone he has gone into the ring against. And now the bell has rung. And maybe the biggest battle of Star Wars 81 is underway as Gary Hart takes his seat on the far side of the ring. And Kabuki going through the martial arts postures. Look at those gnarled, double-jointed fingers he uses as hooks. He can flash them, and while you're paying attention to the hands, the feet can be dangerous. Fritz von Erich is aware of it. You see him there getting out of the way of a spinning kick. Fritz von Erich does not wrestle as often, of course, as he used to. He enjoys more than anything else watching his sons, all three of them, Kerry, Kevin, and David, wrestling. And they certainly can hold their own. But occasionally, as a father and as one of the toughest professional wrestlers ever, Fritz von Erich is calls upon himself to come into the ring to put on the tights, and tonight is one of those nights. And there you see the crazy man Kabuki. You see Gary Hart sitting out there, and I think that of all of the men that we have seen Gary Hart with, I think even Gary Hart is more perplexed and maybe confused by this man Kabuki than he has any of the men that he has been with, and that includes the likes of Maniac Mark Lewin, the Korean assassin Paxton, some of the wild and unpredictable people that he has been with. None have been quite so wild or unpredictable as this man Kabuki. We had Fritz von Erich in the ropes for a moment there, but von Erich blocked one punch, came back with one of his own. Crowd at Reunion Arena has paid a lot of money tonight to see this. But sometimes money is no object, because when you get a chance to see, well, one of the greatest stars of all time in Fritz von Erich, and one of the wildest men in the professional wrestling ranks, and I even hesitate to say he's in the professional wrestling ranks, but you see a Kabuki and a Fritz von Erich go at it in the center of the most beautiful arena in the world, Reunion Arena. What an opportunity. And tonight you're getting the opportunity to see it on television. The crowd noise here tonight has been deafening, and fortunately our engineers have been able to tone it down just a little bit so that we can describe some of the action. But most of the action tonight doesn't need much description. It's all self-explanatory. You see it right there. Kerry von Erich earlier tonight in a tremendous match with Harley Race. But right now you see Kabuki and Fritz von Erich. And into the corner, Fritz von Erich now. Those punches are devastating. And you see Kabuki coming back, striking his martial arts pose, going into the spin. Outside the ring, Gary Hart is patrolling. David Manning, the referee, obviously in a situation here where he has to keep an eye on Kabuki as Fritz von Erich gets Kabuki in the corner, but he misses the big punch as Kabuki comes back with a big side kick. And down goes Fritz. And Kabuki stomping on Fritz von Erich. A punch to the midsection. This is no disqualification, no time limit, anything goes. And now you see Kabuki, I believe he is biting Fritz von Erich. Anything goes, as I said. But look what happened underneath it all. The Iron Claw from the man who invented it. There you see Gary Hart. Keep an eye on him. The shiny head of Gary Hart. always evident. But right now, the most evident thing is the pain on the face of Kabuki, who reaches up and rakes his fingers into the eyes of Fritz von Erich. And Kabuki in pain. Gary Hart in a dangerous area, patrolling outside. And now you see Fritz going into the center of the ring as he tries to get control of himself, and he does with a big punch to the midsection and another punch. And one to the side of the head. Kabuki now takes a big boot, and he's tied up in the ropes. And now Fritz von Erich goes into the ropes with Kabuki. He gets the claw ready, and oh, it's blocked by Kabuki. Keep an eye on Gary Hart to the right side of your screen as we look at our monitor here. Gary Hart down close as he is watching to see whether von Erich can get the iron claw on the forehead of Kabuki. Fritz has hold of the hair, pulling him down, but he's just not able to get that big right hand onto the forehead of Kabuki. Kabuki showing some amazing strength right here. And there it is. He's locked it on. They are in the ropes as David Manning, now the referee, gets out of the way as Kabuki tumbles outside the ring. Gary Hart coming around now to the near side, walking his man Kabuki around. Fritz von Erich, very, very weary right now as you see him buckled in the corner. And now Gary Hart, I believe, may have grabbed, I didn't see it, but it looked like he may have grabbed the foot of Fritz von Erich, and that gave Kabuki a chance to move into the corner. Emotions running very high here at Reunion, and look at Fritz von Erich. Fritz von Erich goes back after Kabuki, but Kabuki comes back with a punch of his own, and now his kick into the ribs. And an amazing kick you just saw by Kabuki. Fritz von Erich down, in trouble. Fritz von Erich in trouble, and now Kabuki goes right after him. Gary Hart giving Kabuki instructions as to where to apply the pressure. And Gary Hart continues to patrol outside the ring. And now Kabuki going after the eyes. There are no disqualifications in this match. Now you see Gary Hart telling Kabuki, I believe, to use the ropes. But just as he starts to climb the ropes, Fritz von Erich goes after Kabuki. Throws his head into the turnbuckle, or into the ring post, I believe it was. And again, into the ring post, or along the support cables. But up on top of the ropes go Kabuki. As Kabuki comes down and misses, but he gets a kick in the midsection, and another one. Kabuki thrown into the corner by Fritz von Erich. There are no titles on the line here in this match. There is just pride. There is revenge on the line. There is Fritz von Erich and Kabuki, and there Kabuki goes to that very vulnerable area underneath the arm where there is very little muscle to shield. The nerves, the tendons, the ligaments, very painful. You see David Manning, the referee, saying, do you want to give up? And I must say that is a foolish question to ask Fritz von Erich. He has never given up. And he will not now as he continues to try to reach down for something extra, to try to get his strength, to try to continue under the great pain of this hold being put on him by Kabuki. Fritz von Erich just gritting his teeth. And he's got the claw, and there it goes. The claw, he takes him into the corner. The iron claw. There is Gary Hart down in the lower right-hand corner. And he reaches in and punches Fritz von Erich in the leg. And now somebody comes after Gary Hart. Some fan who is quickly taken out of there. Somebody went after Gary Hart. And Gary Hart continues to work on Fritz von Erich. And now David Manning kicks Gary Hart away, but there believed could have been a karate chop. A karate chop possibly in the throat, but there is no disqualification. And now a choking choking. And here comes David Von Erich. Here comes David Von Erich into the ring. He goes after Kabuki. He goes after Gary Hart. David Von Erich coming in as Fritz Von Erich was in deep, deep trouble. David Von Erich and Kabuki. It is David Von Erich and Kabuki. And now Kabuki takes David down, and he goes back after Fritz. David Von Erich came in, and now a drop kick, and down goes Kabuki. There is no disqualification. This cannot be disqualification. A backdrop, and down goes Kabuki. David Von Erich says, cover him, Dad, cover him. Here comes Gary Hart. Gary Hart going after David. There's the count of 1, 2, and 3, and it's over. Fritz Von Erich getting a little help, but he needed it to make things even. As Von Erich was being ganged up upon by Kabuki and Gary Hart, he got his own help in there as David came in, and there is the winner, Fritz Von Erich. Fritz Von Erich the winner, but now here's David going after Kabuki, and there is revenge all over the place here as Kabuki being held in the corner by Gary Hart. Fritz Von Erich the winner as he pins Kabuki. A wild, wild ending to a wild match here that Fritz Von Erich controlled most of the way until Hart's interference. And finally, David Von Erich came in to even the score. And when things were even, the victory goes at Star Wars 81 to Fritz Von Erich.